All right, guys, welcome back to the 7th episode of the Elevated Podcast with me, Juan Torres, co-host Houston A. Cardo. Today we have a very special guest. Before I actually introduce you guys to her, make sure you guys follow our Instagram, our YouTube, Apple Music, and we're also on Spotify. Everywhere. Wherever you can stream it, we're on there.
Yep.
We're working on some other ones, but you can pretty much find us anywhere. So today we have a very special guest, Reno local. She goes by Jailyn, Caylen.
That's me.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Well, thank you. Welcome. And thank you for coming on.
I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, well, I do everything, just about. I opened my first business back in 2017, and that was just strictly makeup. And now I've kind of expanded to skincare, hair, graphic design, logos, stickers, apparel, just about everything.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's me. That's who I do. That's
Hell
it.
yeah. So what made you want to get into it in 2017?
It's kind of something that I've always wanted to do. I don't know, kind of had this like entrepreneur side of me, and I realized I didn't want to work for anybody.
Right.
I wasn't good at having someone to be my boss. And so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it. And here I am. Now.
Yeah.
It's my life.
So what was like the first thing that like you actually got into? Like what was like your introduction into starting your own business and entrepreneurship?
So kind of where my name comes from, Jailyn, Caylen. That's not my last name nor my middle name. Absolutely anything.
But your first name, right?
But my first name's Jailyn,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
But the like Caylen portion of it. Ever since I was little, I've been into like YouTube and like all of those people. I used to watch this group called O2L. They were 6 dudes and they just, I don't know, were just a disaster, did whatever. And one of the guys on there, his name was JC Caylen, and I fell in love with him. So I've had this name since I think 2011, and I didn't expect it to grow into my brand, but here it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just kind of that. And then starting makeup, I felt like it was something that I was interested in, and I loved, and I knew that I was like decently good at it. And I was like, you know, I can probably make money off of this.
Yeah.
And then it stemmed.
Yeah, absolutely. So like getting out of high school, what did you think that, you know, like what route did you think you were going to do? Like, did you have plans on going to college, or like right from the jump at an early age, you're like, no, this is definitely where I want to go. I just don't know where.
So I actually dropped out of college. I was in business school. I dropped out because it just wasn't, I don't know, school's just not for me. I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at it in high school. So I dropped out of college. I worked at a daycare actually for about 3 years, and I was coaching gymnastics at the time. And that made me, for one, hate crying children. And for two, realize that I never want kids of my own. And that's when I decided that I didn't want to work for anybody else. And I was like, well, I'm going to take makeup on just as like a side thing. So I was kind of working at the preschool and doing makeup. And then one thing led to another, and I definitely didn't have the time to do both at the same time.
So you're like, the kids got to go.
Yeah, the kids got to go. Love y'all, but screw you.
No more dirty diapers and
no. But then, I don't know, I went to beauty school, graduated that, was done, and realized that that wasn't even real school, and I was okay with that. It was only 6 months long.
And it's expensive.
30 hours a week.
It's so fucking expensive.
You get a piece of paper. That's what you go to school for, basically. And you got to teach yourself everything else. But
Yo, I've had like friends who've gone, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like real school. Like all the other crap that you guys go through seems like it's all BS. Like it's just a wash in order for you guys, for them to say like, we actually taught you guys something.
Yeah.
exactly. No, the school, you definitely go for the piece of paper. You can learn everything that you learn in school on YouTube, off of Google. They don't teach you much.
Yeah.
No.
It's a cool place to hang out,
But you're
though.
certified and you make friends.
Yeah, I hear that. And like, you know, that's like one of the big things that I hate about how society really tries to push schooling on people. Because I ended up dropping out at high school, and it wasn't for me. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was my senior year. I would have graduated if I would have gone for the next 6 months. And it's crazy too, because like I was actually really embarrassed about dropping out at the time, but I was just like, it's not for me. I want to do something else. Like, it's just, I didn't want to go through with it. And it's crazy. Like, I actually lied to friends, and I was telling them that I was going to Galena for like 4 or 5 months. And they're like, oh yeah, how's that? I'm like, dude, it's fucking good.
Yeah.
And they're like, funny, because we're in the parking lot, we don't see you. I'm like, damn it. So at that point, I ended up caving in and shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, it sucks because like, I think like on an earlier podcast, we're also talking to somebody else about how growing up, like in school, you know, they talk to you about going to college, being a doctor, lawyer, a ton of other things, but you never hear anything about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So on that episode, when we posted it, someone had made a comment and said that their teacher had told them that the word entrepreneur means unemployed and that you're going to be broke. And it's like, that's such a wrong way to fucking look at it. Like, I've made way more money outside of work than I did at my 9 to 5, you know? And it's crazy how people have been like stuck in that society thing where it's like, I'm going to work a 9 to 5, get a 401k and do that for the next 40 years. Like, that's crazy.
That's just not for me. School, absolutely not. I feel like school is selective.
It is.
There's some things like, sure, yeah, if you want to be a doctor, please go to school because I don't want you working on me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like in entrepreneurship is more like trade. You're good at it, so why not make money off of it? It's not that you're not smart or educated. It's just literally you're good at something that most people aren't good at.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, just like anything else, too, like, there's definitely a space for it, you know? I mean, just like we have doctors and lawyers, like, there's a market for entrepreneurship, like, especially here in town with Midtown and everything going on, too. Like, that whole area has blown up, and it's just a ton of small businesses, you know?
And they're all local, most of them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's all local businesses, which is really cool. But yeah, I mean, I would say that as far as that goes, like, it's been a drive that for me, like, even with that. So the fact that it was always like, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't drop out of school, like, it pushed me more to do that, you know. And like the whole thing that I always ended up doing, like, at that time was, so I ended up dropping out. And one of the things that I told one of my friends, I was like, dude, I'm going to fucking drive a Ferrari. Watch, I'm going to come back in a fucking Ferrari. Granted, I was like, you know what? It may be an old ass Ferrari, but I'll end up fucking having a Ferrari.
Yeah.
So
dream big.
Yeah, right. So you ended up doing everything in 2017, and then you ended up rebranding it like on January 1st.
So I've rebranded a lot. I rebranded to Punk to Princess, and that was based off of like hardcore music and all of that jazz. And then I decided that just wasn't really like flowing. It wasn't catchy. It wasn't me. It just, I don't know. And then I did By Jailyn Caylen, and I was like, no, still don't like that. And then in 2021, January 1st, I dropped Jailyn Caylen Company, and that was just a broad spectrum of everything that I offer and everything that I do, from business classes to apparel to makeup, skincare, all of that.
Yeah.
It's going decent, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Keeps me busy. I don't know. Same thing, like going off people telling you that you're not going to be able to do something. I was in a relationship at one point, and this was something that I've always wanted to do, but I always got told, like, you'll never sell out. You'll never do this and that. And so when I dropped all of this and sold out, I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like one of the things, too, that I really hate, the fact that it's like, people try to push their fears on you, you know, and it's like, it shouldn't be like that, you know. It's just like, just because you couldn't do it or you don't want to do it doesn't mean I can't do it. You know, we have
like, keep that shit away.
Yeah, exactly. Like, two completely different drives. So with someone like wanting to start off like with what you do, like, as far as see, I'm gonna struggle with saying this. Yeah. Esthetician.
Yeah.
So what is it? Like, you just go to school? Like, you're saying it's kind of BS, but...
Yeah, I mean, you can do it underground, but the board will come after you, so it's not. But you have to go to school basically to get a piece of paper. What it is skincare, waxing, facials, tans.
So is that whole thing like in line too with like nails and hair, or is it two completely
separate programs? So you can go to Cosmo School, and that's full like skincare, hair, and nails. Okay. But nail school, you can just be a nail tech. You can be a hair design to learn how to do people's hair, but not cut it and stuff like that. And I realized that I was scared of getting lice, so I didn't want to do hair. I don't have the patience for nails. Okay. And I wanted to legally be able to own a salon in Reno. So I had to go get an esthetician license. And then I ended up falling in love with it. So it was really good. Yeah. I love skincare. I love the way that it makes people feel confident in their own skin. And it was something, I don't know. I thought that I was going to hate it. And I really was just going so that I could do it legally. And then I ended up loving it. So it was a win-win.
Yeah. It's funny because we actually have a friend who does nails. And she hasn't done her test, or she hasn't finished school or something like that. And I was like, well, why don't you just fucking do nails at your house? And she's like, the board's going to come after me. I'm like, okay, like, they're just like, I've never heard of it, and like, I'm not gonna call the board. I don't even know who to call. You know, it's like,
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. People do some sketchy shit. Like, people go get their eyelashes done at somebody's house on a couch and walk out with like an eye infection. You're like, well, this is why you go to people who are licensed and know what they're doing.
Ooh.
Granted, there's people who aren't licensed and are great at their jobs, but it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to pay the fine.
Really?
It's a pretty hefty fine.
It's a pretty hefty fine. I mean, the board comes after you. They can take literally everything that you have.
Oh, wow. They'll just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, you're risking somebody's, for one, vision during that and, like, their sanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to walk
that's
around
true.
looking... Yeah, no. Just no.
Fucking eyelashes coming out every direction.
Like, it's just, I don't know. That's something that you don't mess around with, I think. And so that's why I think doing it and going to school is probably the best way to do it, even if you don't enjoy school.
Now, is there a way around the school and just take a test to get, or you have to
You
go
have
to
to
school?
go to school.
You have to go.
You
How long
have
is the
to go to
school?
The school, I only went to school for 6 months, but I went during COVID times. And I only was in school for 2 whole months and did the rest of it online.
There you
so,
go.
Oh,
Easy.
that's
It worked
definitely
for
the
me.
easiest way. Yeah, definitely. So, along with being an esthetician, and then you have a few other things that you're selling. You also have a blog, right?
Yes.
So how was that like? Is that something like it was your way out to express what you do, or it's something you've always wanted to do, or what is it behind that?
I don't know. I kind of always loved writing, and I loved the fact that I can literally spill my life out there. And I never expected to start a blog until one day I was just like, you know what? Maybe people want to hear what I have to say. And then when I was under Punk to Princess, it kind of blew up, and I never expected it to take off the way that it did. And during my rebrand, it's been iffy-ish. But I don't know. I just kind of put it out there because, for one, I can educate people on the things that I think are important.
Right.
I can spill my life when I feel like it's a fucking disaster. And people tend to care, I guess. They like to hear about the shit. Or, just, I don't know. A way to just put it out there that I'm a human too, and I completely understand everything that people are going through, and that I'm not a fucking robot, and I go through the shit too.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's really good too, because one of the things that social media has created is that false reality. Everybody thinks that everybody just lives a great life.
Yeah.
Everyone goes on vacation all the time. They're just on jets, hanging out, drinking every week. And it's like, that happens from time to time. Like, that's a small percentage. But then, like, the other time it's like, I have to go to work. It's kind of shitty. I fucking hate it. Things like that. So it's like everyone's almost been given, like, that false narrative to do something and act a certain way. And then when you don't, and you're like, oh, today was a bad day. It's like, oh, look, this fucking guy, he just wants fucking attention. It's like, not really, and people should be more open to it. Like, why can't we really just express how people feel and just take it for what it is? Whether it's good, bad, shitty, or whatever it is that we're thinking, like, we should just post it out there. But we've all been kind of given that thing where we're not really who we are. Do you guys think that at some point that shit will ever go away?
I don't think so.
It's hard to say.
You think like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram are always just going to be king, and we're always going to be living this fake life?
I think it's going to be like TikTok, where it just kind of rises, and like other ones will rise and the other ones won't, and it'll always change, but there will always be something.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as far as like people having like that false narrative or like living that fake life,
I think it's just going to get worse. Yeah.
I really think it will keep being the same, especially like, I don't know, within the industry that I'm in too, with like social media marketing and stuff like that. I realize now how big of an impact social media has. And with the generations that are coming, that's all they're going to know. And so there's always going to be something new, and that's scary because these kids are going to, not get themselves the love and the grace for the things that they're doing outside of social media, and they're going to be living up to fucking Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, because I mean, they
That's
grow
their
up with
idol.
these platforms.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like even now, like you go to a park or playgrounds or anything like that, I never see kids like.
No.
I mean, even with like COVID happening this year, I would say like even in the past years, it seems like Halloween has been like less and less and less. Like kids don't really socialize outside of social media, I guess. Like it's been super antisocial, it's weird. And especially with everything happening with COVID, like it just made people want to separate from one another. And I mean, I was definitely fucking scared of it at first.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not talking to anybody. Stay the hell away. But with that, do you feel like COVID affected your business and what you had going, or like even just
100%.
plans? And
It affected everything in my life. So we were supposed to open Rebel Beauty Company, I I think, right when COVID happened, so the beginning of March, and we were like demoing our studio, getting everything ready for this big like grand reveal, and then COVID happened, the whole fucking world shut down, and that didn't happen. So we ended up like pushing back until just recently. I think we opened fully back up in October.
Okay.
And it's been busy since then, but life plans, so many things got canceled. I was supposed to go see Knuckle Puck. It got canceled right when COVID happened. I was supposed to go see State Champs. They got canceled right when COVID happened. All of these bands that I wanted to go see, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I get it. COVID's serious, but
Yep.
I want to go to a show.
Yeah, and I mean, even now, there isn't any talks of it, huh? Like, I know I definitely got fucking I was supposed to get my money back on a freaking concert now that I think of it, and I never called them when I got my money back. So, yeah, no, that definitely fucking sucks, man. Like, I know that, I mean, everything just fucking came to a stop. So, like, especially with what you do, I mean, it's a person-to-person thing. You're working on people's face and everything like that. So, you can't just do something else or, like, you know, have a Zoom call and fucking do makeup on people.
No, I'm like, I can give you a virtual consult, but that's only going to go so far. I can tell you what to buy, I guess, but I just, no. It ruined a lot of things, but I feel like in the same time, it made me grateful for the things that I did have in that time. And, like, the fact that I still could work from home doing other things rather than just being in the studio and doing, you know, hair and makeup and stuff like that. I became very thankful for my other jobs that drive me crazy 98% of the time. Like,
so is that like the Punk to Princess? Does that have something to do with like the music? And...
Yeah, that was like my hardcore like pop punk scene thing, whatever. Bringing my emo kid back. Yeah. But yeah, I like kind of based that off of there, and I was just like, I just don't know. I'm not a princess. I'm literally a walking fucking disaster. It just wasn't me. So why don't I base my brand off of, I don't know, me, I guess, and just everything that I implement. But yeah, I know it just didn't go.
Right. So you also mentioned that Rebel Beauty Company, that was another thing that you guys were supposed to get up, and then you guys were actually able to open in October. And is that something that's here in town?
Yeah, it's literally right down the street off Mount Rose.
Oh, sick.
Opened it with my best friend Mariah at the time.
Okay.
And we, I don't know, demoed the whole thing. We walked into the studio and we were like, okay, this is what we want. We got 3 rooms, but when we walked in, the whole entire place was like orange and hideous. We were there till like 4 a.m. every single day, like painting and just trying to get everything ready. And then COVID happened, and we were like, well, all right, I guess shit happens.
Yeah.
But
so with that too, like I've also seen you like post on your Instagram stories, like shouting out different girls and everything out like that. It seems like you definitely have like this strong women following. Like what is it that like what's up with that? Like what's the background behind that?
Okay, so I'm gonna plug a bunch of my friends right now, but
plug them.
So I'm really good friends with this girl. Her name is Lacey Blair. She is a diesel mechanic. She was on Diesel Brothers. She lives she used to live in Missouri, then she moved to Utah to go work for the Diesel Brothers, and then ended up opening her own company, moving to Texas with her now boyfriend, Zach. But she owns Lacey Blair Co., and it's an automotive women empowerment apparel company. And so that kind of made me like, you know what? We're all on the same page here. And then my best friend, Jordan, she lives in Florida. She does the same thing. She's owns Drop the Hammer Designs, and she does like automotive stuff and women empowerment. And then like for me, it became super personal when I was doing makeup back in 2017, 18, I don't know, one of those years. And I was doing makeup on a little girl, and she was absolutely freaking mesmerized by what was happening. And she looked at me and she was like, I want to be like you when I grow up. And I was like, oh shit. Like, you do? Okay. And then I was just like, you know what? Women are so, everything is a competition. And I didn't like that. I feel like we should all be in it together. And regardless of if you hate the girl you're sitting next to, be helpful. Don't be a dick. Like,
Yep.
There's so much room in this world for everybody to be successful, and I feel like, especially women, we're all like, like you're not as good as me, whatever. Right. And I just want that shit to fucking stop, because we can all help each other.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where that comes from. Exactly.
We'll also drop their number below. JK, you guys don't got it, motherfuckers. No, but yeah, I mean that totally makes sense. Like, why not? You know, there's enough for everybody to go around. Like, everyone could be doing the same thing. Oh, yeah. And there's plenty of room for it, you know. And that's like the same thing like some of our guests have said with photography. Like, there's different niches within it, even here in town. Like, I think it's something that's been like super oversaturated, but even then, like, there's still niches for certain people who do just weddings, portraits, landscape photography. Yeah. You know, it's similar to this too, where it's like no one has to be against each other. Like, there's only room for everybody to grow, and that's really how it should be.
Exactly. The way that I think about it is there could be a million people doing the same thing that you do, but nobody's going to do it like you.
Yeah.
Right.
And so somebody's probably going to pick your personality over this person, even though you do the same work. So I feel like it's all about how you perceive your customer service and who you are as a person.
It's a big thing when it comes to like having it's like, well, depending on the business, of course, but like customer service is like the biggest thing.
Yeah, and everybody wants to run a business, but not everybody knows how to run a business.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you can overcharge and put out shit work, or you can charge what everybody else is charging and have a kick-ass personality, and you're going to end up getting more clients.
Yeah. And that's true. Like, you know, that's the other thing. It kind of goes back to the schooling. Like, no one teaches you really how to run a business, how to operate a business. Like, the backgrounds behind it. Like, yeah, you know, you offer this service, but then everything else that follows it, like, most people aren't really good at that. Even fucking taxes, something we've mentioned a lot before in the past.
Let's keep going.
I'm stressing them out already. Hey, someone bring them a shot.
Hey, I'm writing a class on that, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, see, that's something I definitely don't want to deal with. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things where it's like, we should really push to just make society as a whole better, you know? And it seems like even in town, like, there's been more of a push for that since COVID, you know? And it's local people trying to keep it here local, and, you know, being able to support local businesses until everything hopefully goes back to normal. So,
but will there be a normal?
It'll be a new normal.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think that I know what I'll be doing on 4th of July, and we're going to be turning up. Watch. I swear, I promise you guys, like, I think that by about May 22nd, we're going to be back to normal.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to that. I have plans this year, so if it's not, I'm blaming you.
No, May 22nd, watch.
Yeah,
we're putting it out
there. If it
there.
doesn't, here's his handle right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you guys, damn, already. Hey, Dr. Fauci, come on, man. Help us out. No, but yeah, so, you know, with all that, COVID ended up happening. It ended up stopping everything that you did. So I had also seen that you were already booking out for, like, the weddings. Is it wedding season, I guess?
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you already have, like, July fully done. Like, there's already a few months where you got some dates already taken care of.
So I'm currently booking out now into December of 2021. Granted, there are some weekends here and there, like, in between where I'm not doing anything, but I've booked those out specifically to not do anything, or else I'll work myself to death. But yeah, I don't know. I think I have like 2 more weekends in December where I have nothing, but it's towards like Christmas time, and nobody wants to get married on fucking Christmas.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Weddings are kind of what I found my love for, realizing that it's a very intimate situation. The fact that people trust me enough to be with them on their big day, not to fuck things up.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I don't know why people put that trust in me, but I'm here for it, so it's okay.
Yeah, I hear that. And it's like, you know, again, you know, going back to another podcast that we had done, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, for me, that would be totally nerve-wracking, because when I used to do photography, I had got offered a few times to do someone's wedding, and I'm like, no, it's not for me. Like, I thought about it, but there's way too much pressure, and I'm not trying to ruin. Yeah. For most people, their only experience like that, so it's something I want nothing to do.
How does it work? Do they just like contact you? Hey, could you do my wedding? Do they come to your shop? Do you go?
Pretty much, it's word of mouth. I feel like that's the biggest thing in this small little town that you could ever get is you do this person's makeup, and they have 13 fucking bridesmaids, and this bridesmaid's gonna get married next year. Well, if you do a good job on them, they're gonna want to come back to you. Then they're gonna tell their mom, their aunt, and their fucking cousin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Word of mouth is super big. It's taken me since 2017 to finally grow a full clientele base and be continuously busy. It wasn't something that happened overnight. No. It's still, sometimes I get stressed out because I'm like, I'm not booking enough. But no, it's definitely word of mouth, and social media helps so much.
Yeah.
Even though it's awful, but it helps so much.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's definitely good because, like, versus like paying to put ads out or doing other things, like, social media is free, and that's definitely the benefit of it.
Free
like, if you have a business, why not put all that stuff out there? So it definitely, it's useful.
It's so useful. Except it's social media. I don't know.
Yeah, so even with that, there was something that I totally forgot where I was going with that.
I'm like, my social media break that I went on.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. So you went on a social on a plunge. Let's hear about that. So
okay, well, there'd be days where I'd be laying in bed literally sobbing because social media is a lot. and I never realized that it'd become a 40-hour-a-week job for me. I run not only my Instagram account, but I run Rebel Beauty Company Instagram account. I run my Reno Esthetician Instagram account. I run Instagram accounts for literally just about anybody that you could ever think of. Diesel companies, spas, whatever. And so that in itself became a full-time job, and I realized that I didn't have time to like pour into my own social media, and I'd go through my messages at night and have like 700 people trying to get a hold of me, and I'm I just can't.
Yeah.
And so I decided, I was like, you know what? I've built myself up to where that I can take a fucking break and not have to advertise myself all the time anymore. And it was the best thing that I've ever done for myself.
Right.
How long was the break?
It started on November 23rd, and I came back, I think, on January 4th.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. Around there. But it was like the month that I never knew that I needed. And when I had to download Instagram and all of that shit back, I was like, kind of sad.
So did you end up like on the 23rd, like waking up on the 24th, like, I need something to do?
I was nervous. I like screen recorded me deleting everything, and I was like, this is it. I'm done. And I even like at one point just deactivated it because I found myself like thinking about it, and I was like, I'm just going to do it so nobody can find me. Nobody can, try to get a hold of me. And then I felt guilty, and I did reactivate it early, but I didn't go on it.
Yeah.
I was bored. I realized how much of my life it took up, and now I'm like, just leave me alone.
Like posting stuff and promoting stuff, messaging people. It's like the full
all of it.
Everything.
So like, I don't know. I'm really big on like SEO and like social media engagement and stuff like that. And like, in order to get your brand out there, you have to be active. Like, if you want people to, notice your account, you have to post on your story at least 3 times a day. You have to post at least once to twice a week.
Right.
And that in itself is just like a lot, because I don't do everything every single day. Half the time I'm sitting at home behind my computer typing up who knows what. I'm not out here going to Lake Tahoe or traveling all the time or doing makeup every day. And people want to see that, and I'm like, but that's not real.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll take pictures and post them from last year because I don't do anything within the first couple months of my life.
Right.
Now, for someone going into this and wanting to promote their business or something, you recommend 3 times a day kind of posting on the story?
Yeah,
and
3 times a day, using the utilities that Instagram and like Facebook gives you. Like, ask me questions, vote on my poll, or I'm going to be dropping this. Here's a countdown. Add this to your story.
Right.
Or even in, I believe it's advanced settings or something like that on Instagram. But you can add like an alternate text to Instagram, and that's for people who are like hearing impaired or blind. They can go in and say something to their phone, and it'll say it about your picture. Like, this is what my picture's about.
Really?
Shit like that. Yeah.
idea.
And like
That's so
integrating
cool.
hashtags into your comments instead of into your post itself gets more engagement and things like that. And yeah, there's so much that goes behind it, and learning the algorithm of social media, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, stuff like that, has probably taken me more time than building my damn business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That makes a lot of sense.
Do you use any specific like tools outside of Instagram for Instagram?
Yeah. So I use a layout app, and I lay out every single post that I'm going to make for the month of January.
And it
schedules
posts,
it so that I don't have to deal with it, because I'll forget. And so, or like that, or I'll save something to my drafts. If I want to post something, like if I'm posting a selfie and I want to have like this big long ass caption, but I don't want to post it that day, I'll just save it to my drafts so that I know that it's there as a reminder whenever I open it up to post a story or something that I need to post it. Or what else do I use? I use Canva a lot. That's my favorite.
What is that?
Canva, it's you can make logos on Canva. You can make Instagram stories, Instagram posts, just about absolutely anything, and you can make them animated and stuff like that. And I feel like it really engages people.
Oh yeah, and that's just an app you download.
Yeah, and it's free, and it's, I don't know, it's my saving grace. It's my freaking backbone. I love it.
Yeah. One of the things too that I was telling Houston was like, normally what I end up doing at work is I'll look at Instagram story and I'll just let it play through all of them, and something like that, it's just like there's engagement happening. So at least I don't fall to like the very bottom of the algorithm. With something like that too, like it's interesting because it's not just about, liking pictures or anything like that. Like I think I had even seen something where if you save a picture, it's better than liking a picture.
Yeah, it boosts you on the algorithm. It gives, so basically like, I don't know, like bookmarking, I guess I think that's what they call it. If you bookmark a picture, it gives them the equivalent of you like sharing it to your story. Because it's like, you want to come back to that, don't you? So maybe somebody else will.
Right.
But I don't know, this shit's taking me way too long to think about.
One of the things too, like you're talking about how much time you had free time when you had stop social media for the month and everything. And that's like one of the things that they're always like, dude, just fucking download TikTok. And I'm like, I'm not downloading TikTok.
It's one more thing.
Yeah. Because like you guys always tell me like, oh, you've been on TikTok for an hour. Like time to drink some water, time to take a break or something. It's like, I don't want to go through it.
Like, stop scrolling. And I'm like, shut up. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, I'm a fiend. I'll be addicted to it and then it's game over.
It's definitely my guilty pleasure at the end of the night because I don't post on TikTok because I don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
I sit there and I will just scroll for hours. Next thing I know, it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like, go to bed. What are you doing?
Damn.
But it's addicting.
It's super addicting.
It's like Vine. I miss Vine.
Vine was its own, like, I love Vine.
Vine's cool. I like TikTok more.
I
Really?
like Vine more. I think TikToks are too long.
Yeah.
That's true.
How long was Vine? It was like
5 seconds?
6 seconds,
10?
5 to 6
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. TikToks, you can make them
I know.
60
then
seconds. And I'm
sometimes
like,
they don't have the timeline on. And
Yeah.
you're like, they just keep going, and it's just a
it's
trap.
so annoying.
Yeah.
The one that's still, like, one of my favorite ones is still the barber one where the guy's like, oh, yeah, I know how to cut hair, and he's cutting hair all fucked up. God, that one's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
No, but I realized too, like, TikTok is probably the easiest place to grow your platform as a small business owner.
Oh yeah.
But I can't.
Because
I don't know how.
my brother, he just like he's always worked out.
Yeah.
Always getting, and he started posting little videos here and there, and then eventually he just blew up like off of like a few videos, and there you go. Now he has this following, and it's
That's
crazy. Yeah, just from posting. All you gotta do is post, and then have to
it's
do with
insane.
some kind of trend going on, and it's cool.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know, like, it's cool and it sucks because, like, kind of going back to, like, that false narrative thing, like, myself included, I always feel like when I look at celebrity, like, Instagrams or profiles, I'm like, I know this guy. Like, I feel like I'm one with this person. Like, I totally know what goes on in his life. Like, he's going to go hang out with his wife on Tuesday because that's what he does every Tuesday, you know? So it's like, that's what he's doing. But it's like, it's not even anything like that, you know? But it's interesting what social media has been able to do, like, as far as that whole thing goes. Yeah. So with that too, like, speaking of social media, don't you have, like, this obsession with Peterbilt trucks?
Yeah, okay. I could talk about this for hours. I absolutely love semi-trucks. My goal in life, I want to be a semi-truck driver.
Really?
That's all I want to do. I will quit every job I ever have, screw
Yeah.
my businesses, and let me drive a truck for the rest of my life. It came, I don't know. I've always been into like trucks, big, loud diesel trucks. I know, sorry, environment, but things that basically are loud, can go fast, and are huge.
Yeah.
I absolutely love. And I went to SEMA in 2019.
Nice.
And I freaking fell in love, not with the show trucks that were there, but with the trucks that were carrying all of the show trucks. And those just happened to be freaking Peterbilts. And then I like fell into like truck and like automotive Instagram. And that's where I've met some of my like best friends to this day. Like next month in February, I'm traveling to Texas to go to a truck show with my best friend from Florida who I've never even met.
Dang.
And I feel like that kind of pushes me to love them even more because I've built a family in the automotive industry now, and I just want to drive my own truck. And my goal, literally, I want a pink Peterbilt with a big ass long black trailer that I can have my salon in, so I can take it to like weddings and shit and be like, come in my freaking truck, but it's me. And I'm like, honk honk, I'm here, driving my freaking Peterbilt. But yeah, Peterbilt 379 if anybody wants to buy me one.
Okay.
And is that the model or what?
Okay.
Just if anybody wants to buy me one, you know.
Drop that Venmo account.
That's so funny because you went to SEMA and you saw all these like you're like, no,
we
I
were
wanna
there for
see
like
that
the freaking
stuff.
supercars and like you know the big ass trucks that you can't drive and you have to open the doors using fishing wire at a Canadian company, but it's fine. And I was like, we're driving down the freaking strip and we're looking at all the trucks and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, look at the freaking trucks. And they're like, yeah, like the ones being towed. And I'm like, no, fuck that truck. The one that's towing that truck.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's cool.
But I
That's
literally
really
fell
cool.
in love with them. And everybody in that industry, too, is just so nice and so supportive. And even though I'm this, like, little girl who can't do shit for the sake of anything, but they're, like, so welcoming with, like, open arms, willing to teach you everything that they know. And I feel like that's so different from, like, the industry that I'm used to. Everybody in like the truck industry, I guess, is just so like, let me teach you how to do this. Oh, you don't know how to do that? Like, come and I'll show you. Or oh, you need help with something? I'll be there.
Yeah.
They'll drop everything for you.
So was that like your first spark into like liking cars, or I mean, it's always something you've been into as well?
I've kind of always been into like big, loud, obnoxious trucks. But really, like in 2019, that's when I was just like, oh my God, Peterbilt's semi trucks.
That's interesting because I'm like, well, you know, like what is it that you would end up pulling? Like you're just gonna go and fucking, you know, do deliveries and stuff like that. But you're like, nah, like that's where I'm gonna carry the salon.
Yeah, I want it for my salon. Cool. My goal, I want a big ass ranch house. Just so that I can have my Peterbilt at my house with a bunch of other nasty farm trucks that I'll probably never use. But that's literally all I want. And maybe a salon inside my house, but we'll get there.
Yeah, trucks are cool. Yeah, I recently like got my like dream like truck. Yeah, I'm happy. I love it.
What'd you get?
I got a 1954 Ford F1.
That's hella cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. And I've always liked the old trucks, the old like farm trucks and like super cool.
Oh, that's so sick. Yeah, I want a freaking F350 like OBS 7.3 like.
Oh damn! Fucking
that's all
diesel.
I want. Yeah, I'm telling you, anything that like pushes out freaking black smoke and can go fast, sign me up.
We actually just like raced a truck the other day. We were going down Virginia in Mexico, and I was on the exhaust side of the truck, and it was some fucking huge diesel. I'm like, dude, I'm rolling up my window, man.
I don't want to get this in my face.
Luckily, the guy was cool, so he actually didn't
cool.
do it. But I was like, God damn.
How fast was that truck? It was extremely fast.
It was
Diesels
fast.
can definitely hold their own.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really cool.
It's crazy, man. Like, for as big as they are, just all that power that they're pushing. God damn.
And how, like, their RPMs are, like, half.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to, like,
yeah, but you'll
other.
freaking step on it and you'll burn all of your gas. And you're like, okay, bye. Gotta go get more fuel. Thanks.
And you get, like, double the miles from any other truck.
Yep.
Yeah. You'll get to run them up to 500,000.
Yeah.
Easily,
yeah,
depending
exactly.
on what it is. Super cool.
Damn, dude, that's crazy.
That is one thing, though. I do wish that I was into cars because, for one, they can fit into small spaces. And for two, I bet y'all get really good gas mileage.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot better gas mileage than the diesel.
It's fucked up.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I thought, but I get horrible gas mileage. So, I mean, there's that. So it's not that good all the time, but it's my own fault for doing it.
Oh, well, it's something that you're interested in, so why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Makes you happy every time.
Absolutely. I don't ever regret it. So another thing, too, that you also ended up mentioning, like, was that work is your passion, right? And, like, it's your hobby. So why is it that, like, you're so driven behind just working all the time?
So I think I posted that on Twitter and then like screenshot it and put it on Instagram. I've been trying to limit how much I work because I realize that like if I'm not stressed out or like feel like I'm burning to the ground, I feel like I'm not working hard enough. But I realized that I've built up 4 businesses since 2017. I'm working on my 5th one. Like I'm doing more than enough and I don't need to be doing any fucking more no matter what Instagram says. And I think that's why I hate social media so much. I see all these people like doing all of these things and I'm like, I could be doing that too. So why don't I try? But then I just want to die at the end of the day. But no, I don't know. Work is my hobby because I thoroughly enjoy the work that I put out and I get to see that, you know, this is something that I built up and I'm proud of it. And I think at the end of the day, I get to sit down at night and be like, I did that. Yeah. That was me. That wasn't anybody else. Like I paid for everything. I, you know, built myself up. I taught myself everything. I sit down and, you know, educate myself on the things that I'm not educated about so that I can be, just so that I can like succeed in the business that I'm in. So I think that's why I enjoy it so much. And I like the challenge. And, you know, I guess I just know that I can do it at the end of the day, no matter how hard it is, even if I fail 1,000 times. There's always going to be like that one time that maybe I'll get it right. Just maybe.
Yeah.
But not all the time.
And I think that's also really important too, that, you know, failure is definitely a huge part of it, you know, that you will fail, but as long as like what I call absolute failure, as long as that doesn't happen, like you'll get taken down, but as long as you get back up, like that's part of it, you know, most things that you learn happen during adversity. So like one of the things for me was like too, like in 2018, I would say I had such a horrible like work life, normal life balance where I felt like I would wake up at 5 a.m. and I would work till 4 p.m. And then from 4 p.m. to 6, I would do this. And then from 6 to 9, I would do that. And then going into bed, I would edit pictures for the next day and then repeat it all over again, right? So it was like one of the things too, like I even recently told you, like I like fucking controlled chaos. Yeah. Like I like things being hectic as long as I have control of the hecticness. Yeah. So I like that whole thing. But I've been getting better about learning like things don't always have to be like that. You don't always have to feel like that. Like, you know, you're moving in a good direction. Just keep it at that, and you know, take a day off.
Yeah, for me, it's
okay.
Like I like the chaos. I like a little bit of chaos. Controlled, not controlled. I get bored without a little bit.
Why is that, dude? Because you're definitely like one of those that you get bored very easily.
Yeah, extremely easy. Like, I just go from one thing there, and if I get bored, I move on and go do something else. It's just how it is.
Yeah, and it's, like, one of the things too, like, dude, that I definitely learned from you was like, just do it, just try it,
just jump in.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm thinking about doing it. Why are you gonna wait? Why don't you just do it right now? I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, let's go. It's just a few hours away. Let's.
The only thing I still haven't taken advice on is swimming.
I mean, we could go anytime. We could go
Give it a
after
shot.
this. Yeah.
I don't know how to swim, and I probably won't ever learn how to swim.
It's okay. I'm not a good swimmer, so I can doggy paddle. That's about it.
What if we both start drowning?
Oh shit! See you on the flip side.
The Titanic is going down.
Oh my god.
Yeah, swimming is definitely one of those things where it's like, if you don't know what's underneath, it's a control thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
and I guess like that's probably like one of my problems. Like I like being in control, and I like having control of things.
Sometimes you just kind of have to go with the flow, and just like you can't fight the water. You can't fight certain things. You just have to. If you can't fight it, like, become with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like when you're skydiving or doing something, like you have. I mean,
That
you have
was
control.
giving me like
but,
anxiety.
But like I got my girlfriend to do it, and she like. Yeah,
I'm
she probably
sorry.
won't do it again, but it's like one of those things where you can't really, you're already out of the plane. Like, you kind of have to, you're with someone that
I'd
will
pass
pull
out.
it. And like, you might as well do it,
One of the things, dude. I'm sorry, Anna, but one of the things I thought was so hilarious. So they actually ended up recording it, right?
Yeah.
And Houston was just like, "I'm ready to go," and Anna was like, "No, don't fucking push me off."
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh, you gotta go." But hell no, like I would be the same way. I would be fucking dumb. Like, nope, not getting on the plane.
No.
Yeah.
No. But I guess like that's one of those things too, where it's just like
Letting go.
letting go, and that I guess I would say I definitely have the hardest time with letting go and just letting the process be what it is. But like one of the things too that I always say is like whenever that ends up happening, like things always just end up working out. Like it feels like if something was meant to be, it comes really easy. So like even with like projects, like businesses I've tried in the past, like every time it's always been like super easy. Things almost seemed like they were given to me, and it was just like, here you go. And I'm always like, cool. I'm definitely gonna take it. Yeah. So with
I'm still thinking about skydiving. It's making me fucking sick.
oh god, yeah, me too. I don't want to do it. So with all that, like, what are your plans for 2021? Like, where do you want to go? What are you trying to do? Where are you trying to take the businesses? I know you mentioned like events. You're talking about doing workshops.
Yeah. So currently, right now, I'm actually writing 3 classes. I'm writing one like starting your own business, basically like all the taxes, the spooky shit that nobody wants to talk about.
Ooh.
Every license that you'll ever need.
I'll sign up Houston for that.
Now, is this online? Like,
Yeah,
people
so
take
it's all
the
gonna be
class? Okay.
online. I don't know how much it's gonna be, but
Yeah.
like with that comes like a free mentorship from me. Like I'll be available to you 24/7. And so yeah, that first business class should be released within the next few months. I don't know. It's taking me longer than I thought it was going
Okay.
to. I'm also doing a makeup artist masterclass. What else am I doing? A Boss Babes workshop. Hopefully, COVID pending. It's gonna be up in Tahoe. It's gonna be like Thursday through Sunday. Basically,
Damn.
just getting a bunch of like small business owners here and like people who are in the same industry that I am, or even if they're not, just coming up, and the people who want to grow their businesses can come and spend like 4 or 5 days with us, just learning absolutely everything. It's gonna be all inclusive: food, stay, lake,
That's
do
super
whatever.
cool.
Nice.
All of that shit. So that's one of the big things that I'm hoping gets to happen. I tried to do it last year, but then COVID. So I'm hoping that it follows through this year. But those are really like the only big things. I mean, other than me never being in town this whole year.
Nice.
That's it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, dude, I'm waiting to go somewhere too, man.
Yeah,
I know last time we were talking about going and seeing Dave Chappelle too, and it was like, we're going to go to Austin, but then everything was closed.
Yeah.
So it's like not happening.
Yeah, not the time to travel.
Nah, but you're doing it, so hey,
I'm
hallelujah.
going just about everywhere. It's awful. I just got back into town last weekend, and I'm like,
Yeah, nice.
I love it.
So before we tell everybody where we could find you and everything, like one thing that I wanted to mention was Talkspace, right? Talkspace / Reno.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Talkspace is so Nevada got a grant for Talkspace, and it's basically like Talkspace is psychologists I mean, you talk someone online, and it usually costs like $300 a month for this service. But Nevada got a grant, and you could do it for free, and you get unlimited like talking and video
Texting
conferencing,
and all that.
and you could do it through your phone, and it's super cool. Yeah.
Oh, and it's for 1 year,
Yeah,
right?
you got 1 year with it. So.
Yeah, so like anybody who's a resident to Reno or is it Nevada?
Nevada.
Wouldn't have figured it out, but just Reno.
yeah.
Okay, young Jamie, definitely let us know that it was just Reno.
Yeah.
So definitely, like, anybody who's local to the Reno area, check it out. We'll also link it below, but any psychologist, they'll be able to help you out. They have like 24-hour tech support, phone call support, and then they do video calls like once a week with you or something like that for 30 minutes. But definitely, especially with everything happening with COVID, people being locked down, being able to get the right help for it, so just reducing, the things that are happening outside in the world, and also being able to help, give yourself that mental clarity, so I actually didn't like fully think about it, but I'm gonna end up giving it a shot.
It's good to get an outside perspective sometimes.
Yeah.
And not like talking to someone new. So
Hell yeah.
it's
Hey,
nice.
because I feel it.
Yeah.
I felt it sometimes. So
Yeah.
I felt the Holy Ghost behind me. So
Yeah. Okay.
But with all that being said, let the people know where we could find you.
And this is on proper branding. Okay. Everything is under Jailyn Caylen.
Okay.
My Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. Please
Nice.
don't look me up on YouTube. You'll find cringy videos. But
No, we'll also link that below.
yeah, seriously, everything is at Jailyn Caylen.
Nice.
Okay.
Hell yeah, that makes it freaking easy.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah, sick. Well, thank you for coming on. We
Thanks for
appreciate
having me.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
This was fun. I liked it.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Now this is the section where we go into the ASMR for the next 15 minutes.
Oh, Lord.
So